Welcome everyone to the Watchlist, your weekly virtual TV guide right here on the Latiners Network. We're going to talk about all the shows and films, documentaries released on streaming, give you our best recommendations or non-recommendations as the case may be. And of course, at the end of the show, letting you know what's coming out next week so you too can create your very own watch list. Joining us as always, live from Houston, is Senor Jaime, aka Chewy, fresh off his fantasy draft, both drafts actually, 2 drafts in 2 days. I got 2 more to go. Almost there, 1 week to football season. Very excited. Actually, less than a week. Technically, it's Thursday night football. Opening, so that's a good thing.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're excited. Look to go. Like I said, not a big week this week. We're actually not going to be around next weekend, so we're going to give you 2 weeks worth of shows. Still not a lot. I thought there'd be more shows being released over the next couple of weeks, and it's not. But we'll let you know it's coming out. So we'll give you 2 weeks of watch list material, and we'll reconvene a couple of weeks when we may talk about some of the shows and what happened over the last couple of weeks. But that being said, Chewy, we got some sad news, and not talking about how you drafted. That's a different story for a different day. We have
Slow your
unfortunate
roll, dude.
in memoriam, another sad passing. Not just one passing, but 2 passings. And no, not Jimmy Buffett. We're talking about the passing of 2 shows. First one is Hulu's The Great was canceled after its 3rd season run, not getting a 4th, and I kind of like that show, to be honest with you. And the other one, this one is no surprise. No one should be sad about this. Actually, I do have a good friend who loved that show for whatever reason. Of course, that is The Idol. I got released just a few months ago on Max,
Not
which
bad.
was not a good
Yeah,
show.
yeah. That the
Yeah,
marquee
that
Sunday
was
show.
terrible.
Ha!
That was
That'll
not
teach
a good
them.
show at all. That does not surprise me, and it happened so quickly too. I think that my show's maybe 2 months since it aired, maybe 3 months. I don't know, at best. Maybe the Hulu. I
Maybe,
like the
yeah.
Hulu. I think we both Hulu. The Great on Hulu. We both like that show. Yeah, Christopher.
Absolutely.
I
That
forgot his
was a
name.
good show.
Holt. Nicholas Holt. No, Chris. Nicholas Holt. Right.
Yeah,
El Fanning.
Nicholas Holt and
El Fanning. Right. Good
Dakota.
show.
No,
Good
no, Elle
four-piece kind
Fanning.
of show. Comedic show. I thought it was set up for 4th season, but I guess not. A lot of cutbacks on a lot of these. We're going to see a lot more of these coming up for sure. We saw, I think,
Hmm.
Amazon Prime cutting the fat as well. Max has been cutting their fat, so the strike going on doesn't surprise me. So if you're a fan of these shows, it is what it is. However, still plenty of good stuff to watch. It's still out there. And let's talk about one, Chewy, which I know you haven't seen the finale yet, but I did catch it today. And that, of course, Dark Winds on AMC
Oh yeah, I
Plus,
got
ending
it
a
tomorrow.
6-episode run. And it's funny because I read this show that I it's gotten some good viewership. I think the second season went up 150% from the first season. So that's kind of indicative of the success of the first season. It's really good show, really good season. The first one, the
Hmm.
second one, that was really good too. Really well paced. We talked about how it started. It was like, man, they just got right into the meat of things. A lot more fast paced than the first one was. It ended very well. I gotta say, I won't spoil anything obviously to see it, but I liked how it ended. Wrapped it pretty well. Nice little dark, twisty. Well, not say twist, but something happens that's kind of dark, which I really appreciated. Again, I won't say anything. Leave it at that. Good ending. Wrap things up pretty well. This is a good show, guys. This is a really a good show. I'm a fan of it. It's nothing special. It's nothing. Doesn't break the mold. The fact you have your basic. It's not basic. It's more than just basic, but the police procedural kind of set in a reservation in the 70s or early 80s, whatever the case is, and
Hmm.
really well done. It's really well done. The fact that
70s, I believe.
the
Yeah.
viewership increased by such an amount, that's a huge amount. 150%, that's a big amount to
Especially for
right,
AMC
exactly.
AMC
So, and I
show,
think you were
really.
also a fan of the show. I know you haven't finished seeing episode 6. Trust me, it's good. But the first 5, your thoughts?
No, man, excellent show. Like I said, it's not earth-shattering as far as the subject matter, right? Police procedural, but unique as far as the title character, the lead characters all being Native Americans of varying tribes. I think this takes place in Navajo
Yeah.
reservation, if I'm not mistaken. So that in itself is unique because there's not many shows on TV that have Native Americans as the lead protagonist and subject matter
Yeah,
in the show
exactly. And
itself.
it's interesting. I just saw this show, and I'll make this because for those who haven't seen it, don't have AMC Plus. But if you have Max, I noticed today, I was scrolling around Max. Max has, I don't know temporarily for how long, but you can watch some of the top.
for the
It's
next
30
30
days.
days, they
Okay.
put on all their
Yeah, so you can
AMC
catch
Plus
Dark
shows
Winds.
on
If
the
you have Max,
Max.
you can catch both seasons. Gangs of London, you can catch that one's one of the shows available, which we love on now it's on Max. That's a show you should definitely watch on Max while it's there for the next 30 days.
Hmm.
And Interview the Vampire is another one that we really liked, surprisingly good. That one's on there as well. Those are the three shows that I say
Hmm.
if you don't have AMC Plus, take advantage of it now. 30 days max. Catch one of those three shows. Gangs of London first, and I would say Dark Winds and Interview a Vampire, depending on your taste, right? Like a more horror, go with one. Like the police procedure kind of stuff, then you go with Dark Winds. But that's all there. You guys can watch it now, if you don't want to be part of the 10, 15 people who have AMC Plus. But that being said, let's get on with what this week had to offer. Again, not a big week, but that being said, we'll get into it now. And the first one here, Miss Adrenaline, A Tale of Twins on Netflix. Now, I'm not going to be really reviewing this show because I put it on. I was like, okay, it came out, I think it was Wednesday. And
Yeah, this is a
which I
Colombian
didn't know. I always
telenovela.
check the episode
Uh,
count. Yeah,
I
when I
had
went this,
no
let me see
idea.
how many
I
episodes,
had
how
no
long it
idea
is. And I was
either.
like, episode 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm like, whoa, what the
Uh,
50, 60, oh, hell no. 67 episodes for one season. And then other was being released later. I'm like, what is, and that's when obviously, yeah, if it's that long, it's a telenovela. I'm like, I ain't got time to barely watch 10
mhm.
episodes, much less 67, with more counting and coming. Pass. So maybe it's great. I have no clue. Sorry, guys. I don't know if you guys that much for me to bear down to 60 something episodes of a show. It's not gonna happen. It's never gonna happen unless I'm watching something that's older that I know it's good. So we'll bypass that and go to a show which I don't watch, but no, I started watching, but I know two of you are more a fan of than I am. It's a good show. I just kind of got off, and that's Disenchantment, season 4, I believe, on Netflix. Kind of a Simpsons esque style, Family Guy, Futurama kind of show. Kind of a fairy tale kind
Mhm.
of thing, somewhat. Medieval
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
medieval time fantasy, um, and whatnot. So yeah, like I said, if you're a fan of Futurama and Simpsons, you'll be a fan of this show because it's the same type of humor, same animation style, storytelling. This is probably obviously more serialized
Hmm.
than Simpsons. I'm sure about Futurama, which just came back
Yeah.
on Hulu Animation Land and whatnot. So, but I've enjoyed the 4 seasons. I've only a couple episodes of this season. I still enjoy it. It's a fun show. And this is probably a good time to bring it to closure. Then it's obviously it's run through its complete arc with the sub
Yeah, like I
characters.
said, it's a funny show. I enjoyed it. Just for some reason, missed the last season, and it is what it is, right? But it's a funny show. It was a funny show. I didn't dislike it at all. The
Hmm.
next one here, this is an interesting one. Wheel of Time. This is a big budget show. Amazon, of course, so it spares no expense most of the time. Kind of a Lord of the Ring esque kind of shown as based off a series of books or whatever. How many books and all that.
Correct.
This one here,
Yes.
the first
Hmm.
season was okay, solid. I thought it lacked a little, excuse me, a little fun to it. It took us almost too seriously at times, personally. Never reached great heights, right, as far as the original Lord of the Rings, not the TV show. And it was just okay. Second season come out. I think 3 episodes dropped thus far. I've seen a couple. Um,
Hmm.
I feel kind of the same. It's good, solid, well made. I'm still not getting that missing the joys on this kind of show. A little bit dark. There's a lot going on, but if you're a fan of the genre, I recommend it. If you're not into the Lord of the Rings kind of style, there's not one I probably tell you to stay away from. I'm just not loving it, man. Something about it is just not hitting me true. What do you think?
No, I mean it's definitely a darker show. Um, and I mean, obviously, it's hard not to lump it in with The Witcher and Lord of the Rings and some of the other fantasy shows that have been coming out in the last couple of years and where this ranks within that genre. It's a good show. Like I said, I didn't read the books. I'm not a fan of the books. I don't know if it's reached that territory that becomes must watch yet because it's just yeah, I agree. There's something I don't know what it is, but it's not doesn't want me
Yeah,
to be as engaged as I was like in the first 2 seasons of The Witcher, or even with Lord of the Rings. Maybe
yeah,
we need to have a
of
bigger
course, right,
affinity
right.
for that because of the movies and the Hobbit and whatnot. And maybe because we just know, I mean, this is not Foundation by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, those are two contemporary shows.
No, it's not the
Foundation is
same. No, that's those are two.
vastly,
It's apples and oranges.
vastly
Number one, well, quality
better.
wise, obviously, but it's not
Yeah.
as far as
Yes.
the genre. It's not. Yeah, sure,
Well, it was storytelling
sure.
and wanting to be engaged and having characters, villains, and protagonists that pull you in, right, and are interesting, right, and you want to see what happens and see there's a bigger mystery, right, that you want to uncover. This one is a little bit paint by numbers as far as storytelling a little bit. Yeah, there is a lot going on. There's different factions. There's 4 or 5 main characters that are separated. They were together last season. This year they're separated, and it's hard to keep track of
Right,
where
and
they're at and where this is going. But it's still, and maybe that's
and I
part of the
think it's
problem.
just the
Maybe it's
lack
too
of a
much.
great central character. I think it's like with The Witcher. You like Geralt. He's funny, or even his psychic, right? All that. There's some fun to be had there, but it's like a good central character. Here,
That's
central
good. Yeah.
characters are just I don't know. They're just not. No one stands out. You know what I'm saying? It's missing just that person to follow. I mean, you have so many characters and so many storylines. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you don't really care about going back to whoever you're showing. Just show me whoever because you're not interested in anything else. It's okay. Like I said, it's fine. It's not a terrible show, but again,
Mm-hmm.
if you ask me to watch it, I will probably lean towards no because there's other stuff to watch, like a Foundation, which we'll talk about in a couple weeks and all that. Although I may be off the show for reasons I don't want to spoil. But that being said, just
Jeez,
saying.
come on, dude.
Let's talk about the last one. This is the big one for the week. This is the one I was looking forward to. I think a lot of people were, and that's One Piece. The new kind of fantasy show based on manga,
Mm-hmm.
anime, of course. Very popular, apparently. I'm not familiar with
Mm-hmm.
it personally. Of course, not
Japanese.
going into it, not familiar with it. This one here is basically there's the story. It's pirates, right? In a very pure essence, right? It's yeah,
Ahoy, matey.
it's just very fantasy esque, but still, fantasy pirate, right? The
Fantasy
pirates in the
pirates,
world of
which
fantasy,
is
a lot of
yeah.
interesting characters and creatures and powers and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
One focus on the one young boy,
Mm-hmm.
I forgot his name. Luffy. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's a aspiring
Luffy.
pirate. Wants to
Yeah.
be the king of the pirates, and to do so, he has to find this one piece, the treasure that the pirate king, hid years ago when he got killed, when he was captured. Whoever gets that treasure becomes the pirate king. Out there picking up a crew, trying to steal the map and avoid the authorities, i.e., in this case, the Marines, who protect the seas, etc., etc. So Chewy, I'm gonna let you go first on this one. What'd you think about obviously I don't know how many you saw. There's 8 episodes, I believe. Actually, I saw 6. I'm deep in because
I've seen.
I wasn't a lot to watch. Basically, just
Yeah.
read the time with
Okay.
that. So, but Chewy,
Okay.
your thoughts on this one?
I am 3 in, and I am pleasantly surprised on how much I like this show. It is it, and I mean, I don't know anything about Japanese manga or anime and stuff. I knew nothing about the source material. Obviously, I know Netflix was pushing this, and there was a big buzz, especially from hardcore fans, about this and its adaptation, or potentially inspiration. But and I saw some reviews coming out, and they were mixed. Some were loving it, some not so much, and so I didn't know what to expect. So when I started watching this, I was just pleasantly surprised how much of it, how fun pirates could be. I mean, we have some definitely. When you talk about characters, I mean,
Yeah.
you've got the clown pirate. You have the guy that the Paw Cats or South
Ah,
Cats pirate. I mean, you got the guys with the shark nose one. I mean, so I mean, every variation of pirate you can think of, they have, and it makes it fun and it makes it funny and interesting. And you can't help but smile when you see Luffy and go through his one goal and trying to put a crew together and the ship and it's like he comes off as aloof, but really he isn't. He's very savvy and obviously his special power makes it even that much more powerful and surprising to when he comes across. You just see
yeah,
just a
he's got
kid in a
that
straw hat,
Mr.
and he
Fantastic,
really
that
isn't.
Fantastic Four kind of really stretches out. He's
Yeah,
made of plastic almost,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
That kind of deal, which is cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, I'm really liking the show, man. I'm not loving it, but I'm really liking it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This is this in the Wheel of Time, right? Where it's a different kind of show, and I get it, but it's a lot of fun and joy in this show, right? Sometimes a little too cheesy at times, a little
Mm-hmm.
too campy, but whatever. Nonetheless, I get it. It's out there, but it's got cool central characters. This is what I'm saying, right? Luffy's a fun character. He's got good charisma. He's very
Hmm.
positive. Again, very savvy, but it seems like he may be a little bit naive. He really isn't. He's a look Zorro. I like him a lot. And there's one of the pirates. I don't think you've seen yet. Who's it? The greatest swordsman. Um, okay, really
Okay, I
cool.
haven't seen that one yet.
Really, and he ended up. I might be like a throwaway kind of villain. I like what they did with him. Really cool. I like that character a lot. When you get to him, you'll see, and it's very cool. But yeah, I guess we have good characters and it's a fun show. Yeah, no matter even if it's not the greatest thing ever, it's a good watch, man. The action was really well done,
Yeah.
right? For the most, there's a couple of CGI things later on, but for the most part, really cool. One guy, the Zoro has the sword. He's a badass with the swords, and even the thief, it's stereotypical character, but whatever. She has some cool moves, and of course him with the Luffy with his stretching of the arms and all that. Very cool. It's a lot of cool stuff and things with the
Hmm.
clown. The clown can do is interesting. It's out there, right? It's definitely a show
Oh
that's kind
yeah.
of out there. I like that, and it's fun, man. This is a high recommend for me. It really is. It's a fun show. It looks great. Good production behind it. I hope. I mean, I got two more. I hope it ends really well. I hope this is a season. This is a very pop. This is not. What was the other one that they kind of missed the mark on? Cowboy Bebop. There we go. Um, yeah, that missed
Oh,
the
that one
mark. I think this
completely
one hit
missed the
hit hit
mark
the
on.
notes that didn't hit, right? So yeah, and I really hope this continues. I'm
Yes,
really enjoying it. It's a
absolutely.
lot of. It's a fun show. I want to say it's kid friendly, but at times it's not. It's kind of odd. I guess
Well, it's well, obviously you're
right.
dealing with pirates who are very brutal, and they're not meant to be fun people, and so they do there is a fair amount
Mhm.
of killing, though
No,
though it's not grotesque that you can't have a child in there, but you obviously they cut away so you know what you can hear
right.
it and
It's
you know
more
what happened
implied, except for
and you
this
see
one
the blood.
scene,
Yes.
early scene with Zoro, and the first scene he has actually, and how he ends up killing somebody. Well, that's fine. If he cuts him in half.
I
And
think
it's
I
in the
missed
first,
it.
in the first
Yeah.
episode or whatever. He slices someone in half, and whatever. But there's no blood spilling out.
Oh,
But I mean, I was like,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
wow.
okay,
So
yeah,
it's
okay.
it's kind of an odd tone at times. I don't know, small complaints, but whatever. Nonetheless, yeah, dude. My recommend for the week, no doubt. Fun show. It's an entertaining show. I'm enjoying
Hmm.
it. It's not the greatest thing ever, but it's a fun show. Particularly with the next couple weeks being kind of light. This is one you probably want to go back and start if you haven't started already. I was very. It's very entertaining. I'll put it that way. It's very
Absolutely.
entertaining. Nothing else. Netflix, man. That's just why Netflix, you know, probably is still the best one out of all of them, right? For the most part, in terms of what they offer, the shows they offer, and the diversity of shows that they offer. Yeah,
Hmm.
and I've heard the fans of the manga really like this show, so that speaks of the respect they have for the source material, like a la Sandman, which that another one did a
Hmm.
really good job, bringing that source material to life. Which I really appreciated. So yeah, that one for sure. So those are the shows for the weekend. Not a lot, but with the One Piece in there, I think it makes up for the lack of quantity of shows. But let's talk about the next 2 weeks. We're giving
Hmm.
2 weeks with the stuff. You guys can fill all your streaming needs, and we'll start with the first one on the 6th, which is on Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know. After the holidays, Wednesday's I Am Groot.
Wednesday.
The second season, I guess. So, really short animated shorts. Yeah,
It
it's
was
fine. It's
shorts.
what it is. I'm
Yeah.
not not go run on and watch it, but whatever. It is coming out. Same day we got Predators on Netflix, a documentary, nature documentary on, of course, predators,
Hmm.
lions, tigers, and whatever, leopards, etc. Yeah, I love those
Bears.
kind of
Oh
nature
my.
shows. I love those kind of nature shows. So this looks interesting, and they always do a pretty good job with that one. So that one's on the same day. Dear Child on the 7th. Netflix. It looks one of those kind of standard kind of foreign shows, but this one's about a girl who yeah, a girl
Limited
who comes
series, I
back. She
believe.
was
Yeah.
kidnapped years ago, comes back, and now they're trying to discover the mystery behind her disappearance and etc. On the 7th, I believe the same day, we got I think the third season of Top Boy. I want to say the fifth
Well,
season.
technically, this is
Okay,
the fifth season. It's third. So the first two seasons, it was called something on top
okay,
where I can't remember what it's called. But then there's this is the third. When
mm,
it came back, this is the third season of that.
okay.
So it's 5 seasons total run. But this is the
Yeah,
final
it's a good
season
show.
for
It's a
the
good
show
crime
overall.
show and all that. It's actually pretty well made.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. It's basically
mhm,
a British English drug
exactly.
trade
And
show
on Apple
essentially
Plus, this one
procedure.
I'm actually looking forward to, and that's the Changeling. This was kind of a
Hmm.
thriller horror esque show on Apple Plus. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
They kind of kept the main plot under wraps. At least I haven't seen a lot of it. I did it on purpose because I really want to see the show. I don't want to be surprised, but this looks very good. It's very interesting, like in that horror kind of genre. And it's Apple Plus, so why not? Another documentary on Netflix on the 8th of Spy Ops. It's, I guess, people, I think they, they talk to like,
So this is
yes.
yeah, kind of retelling. Yeah, so they talk to the agents involved in special operations, and they do a whole range of ops that they go through in detail. There's stuff that happened already, obviously, so that we're not disclosing
Right, of
national
course.
security secrets or anything. But you get again a little
Yeah, it's
dramatization as
interesting.
well in some of the events, but it's still retold through the individuals and people
Exactly. So you're
involved
into that
in
kind of
those
stuff. This one looks
operations.
kind of
So,
pretty interesting. So
mhm.
that's that for now. For the next week, we got a couple of things. One is Welcome to Wrexham. Of course, is the second season. That kind of what's not reality show. I don't know if it's a reality show, but I guess you can call it. No, it is a reality show. It's a reality show.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a reality show, but I
No,
mean, it's
right,
not a
right. Because we got
contest.
Ryan Reynolds and I forgot who the guys who bought a. So
Yeah, the guy
yeah,
from It's
yeah,
Always
they bought a
Sunny
team
in Philadelphia. Yeah,
in Wales, a soccer team, and
AFC is
I
it
think
AFC
so. I
Wrexham
forget, but
or I can't
really
remember.
surprisingly good show. I guess
Okay.
it's on Hulu. Like it a lot. This is people compare it to a real life Ted Lasso kind of show, and I guess it's kind of a fair comparison. Uh,
Well, I guess
right,
without the Ted
of
Lasso, right?
course,
Because
right.
we
They're on
see
team,
two
right?
owners. They
And
own the
behind the
team, and
scenes and
they're
talking to the
yeah.
fans and how they get involved. They have a lot of fun with it, so it's very infectious show. It's actually a pretty good show. You guys can catch it on Hulu starting on the 12th, FX Hulu, whatever. And again, on Hulu again, Hulu's got the only two shows coming out in 2 weeks, so it's a very light week. It surprises me. That's The Other Black Girl. It's a show. It takes place in, like, in the 70s,
Mhm.
if I'm not mistaken, with a black woman, the only black woman working at a publishing company. Another black woman gets hired, and she's ascending the ranks, but there's some mystery behind her, something going on. Seems like a thriller kind of horror kind of series, somewhat, if I'm getting up my alley. This actually looks pretty interesting, so I'm looking forward to that one. There's a couple of shows we'll
Mhm.
probably talk about when we come back in a couple of weeks. But that's all. Again, not a huge couple of weeks, but
Yeah.
again, go catch One Piece. Go to HBO. There's three great shows right now from AMC Plus. You guys can watch. And Dark Winds. I'll make it four because one is Max, and that's Warrior. If you haven't seen Warrior, God damn it, Warrior, Gangs of London, Dark Wind, and Interview.
Go back and
If
watch
you want to see
Idol.
why
Just
Idol
kidding.
was canceled, just watch the first 20 minutes, and I get,
There
of
you
course. But I guess it's good because at least a whole lot of room for football. Get all your draft teams situated, your lineups, if you will, your waivers, etc., etc. Good luck and everybody's drafts out there. It is, of course, Labor Day weekend, so everyone enjoy the long weekend and all that. Chewy, of course, a pleasure as always. We back in 2 weeks from now. Subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. Appreciate it, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.